And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood. I feel kind of like I hadn't been with you all in a while because I missed a couple of days. A lot of activities are going on with our city and county schools and a lot of graduations and all kinds of things going on. But we're back with Nancy's Neighborhood, and I have two guests today, and I'm excited about both of them because I'm going to be in a learning process with both of them, and I hope you all are too. So my first guest today is Cathy Barrett, and she is president of the
Community Foundation.
There you go. You tell them.
President of the Community Foundation of Cleveland and Bradley County.
Great. And I wanted Cathy to come on today because I know a little bit about what she does. And you know, when you know a little bit about something, sometimes that's dangerous, just like me not getting the title of the organization. So I wanted Cathy to talk to us a little bit about what the foundation, why it was founded, what you're doing, opportunities for other people in the community, and anything else you want to share with us.
Great. Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation. The mission of the Community Foundation is really to strengthen and enrich the community by expanding philanthropy. And the legal structure of a community foundation helps us be able to do just that. And so to understand what a community foundation is, it's really a collection of funds put at the community foundation by different donors, and each of those donors has their very own charitable purpose or goal in mind for their fund, and they set that up. It's a very personalized approach to philanthropy, and then we help administer those funds for them. We invest them and help them grow over time so that their philanthropy can continue and even expand, through that growth of investment.
Okay, now it's not just for individuals.
It's not. When we say donor, that term is very broad. So a donor can be an individual, a family, a business, another nonprofit organization, a government entity. It's a very broad term, and we work with a number of nonprofits in the community as well as individuals and families and businesses with these funds that we manage. And right now we're at about 24 funds that we're managing at the Community Foundation, and some of those are what we call project funds, and one that we're very focused on right now that's a project fund for us is the Taylor Spring Park Fund.
Yes.
And I know you're familiar with the work that we're doing there.
Yes, and share with our audience a little bit about that.
So the site of where Cleveland's birthplace was, and it's actually also the site of the seat of Bradley County, but that is where we're building a new park that will kind of tell the story of the birthplace of Cleveland. And individuals have been able to contribute to the building of that park by sponsoring a brick or a tree or a bench, or being a major sponsor and having their name at the entrance to the park. And then of course the city has come alongside with some funding and in-kind services as well. So it's a great way to bring public and private dollars together to build a great asset for the community. So that's one of the project funds that we're working on currently.
And bringing public and private funds together sometimes is not easy.
Right.
So if you have someone who knows what they're doing, like your foundation does, to help this happen, that's really good.
It is, and so all of the donations come to the Community Foundation marked for this particular fund, and then as the park is built, we pay the expenses of building that park out of their fund. And we did the same thing with the Cleveland Dog Park. That was our very first project fund, and John Sheehan was kind of the lead on that park. He really wanted to see a dog park in our community, and so did a lot of other individuals. And so the city donated a piece of land at Tinsley Park. The property really wasn't able to be used for much because it was in the flood zone, and so we brought in truckload after truckload of dirt to build this park. But it was the city providing land and some resources along with private donations building the dog park, and it's packed every single night. Folks take their dogs there. They've made new friends by going to the dog park and meeting through their dogs. So it's been a great asset for the community. We also just started a project fund with Main Street to do some beautification efforts downtown. I don't know if you've seen any of the new
and they're
big
nice.
planners.
Yes.
Yeah, and so Robert Thompson made a donation to the Main Street Community Fund, at the Community Foundation, and then Main Street has also donated, and they've got 10 planters, but the goal is to continue to raise dollars and put more planters downtown and do some other things that will really beautify our downtown area.
And I think it's great when you can point out things like the dog park so that people can actually see what you're doing, because a lot of times investing, you don't see what's happening.
Sometimes not right away. With project funds, they're pretty short-term projects, and the idea really is these kinds of things can happen in the community without anybody having to go out, create a whole new nonprofit organization just for a project that's fairly short-term in nature to build one of these types of community assets. So that's the benefit, I guess, of those type of project funds. We're also working with some of our local nonprofits on endowment funds. We're working with the Cleveland Public Library on an endowment fund. They got a wonderful gift from a former librarian that left a bequest in her will for the library. And so that started their endowment fund, and they've invested those dollars with us. We also have an endowment with the Family Cornerstones organization. They're doing great work in our community, and the Unity Center as well. So those are organizations that are all interested in really focusing on their mission both now and in the future. So these endowment funds will provide that ongoing source of revenue for current operations, but will continue forever so that they have that solid source of funding in the future as well.
So if an individual wanted to set up a fund with you all designated XYZ, just whatever their love was.
Exactly.
Like the dog park, which, we've already done that one, but they could contact you and do that?
Absolutely, and that's what we usually do, is just sit down and talk about what the donor wants to accomplish and, figure out how to craft an agreement. It's a legal agreement with the donor so that, 50 years from now, it will still be going on exactly as that donor wants it to, whether any of us are here or not. So that's the idea, is really to put those wishes in writing in a legal agreement so that we can administer that throughout time.
And that's a great idea. And then also you're talking about 501c3s that maybe, and you know as well as I do, because we've both been on boards, that sometimes there's a question about, well, we've got a little bit extra money, what should we do with it? And you don't want to spend it, but you just kind of put it over here, and it's not drawing interest, and it's not doing anything. So that's another group of people that could come to you all.
It is, and what we do for investment purposes, all of our funds are pooled together. And so we've got about $4.3 million in invested funds right now that we're managing. And so the $50,000 fund can do a lot more being a part of that overall pooled fund than it could garner on its own. So
absolutely,
and really we start with funds as small as $5,000 on up to millions of dollars. So, it really is. And anybody can contribute to any of the funds that are already set up if they want to support, if they want to support Taylor Spring or maintenance at the dog park or the Main Street program. We also have one with the Valley View PTO. Anybody that's an alumni of that school that wants to continue to support their school, or maybe has a child or grandchild that goes there and wants to support that organization. So really anybody can contribute any amount to those funds that are already established, and we always are happy to talk with donors who think they might want to know more about establishing their very own fund. If they want to establish a legacy for a loved one or themselves or their family, it's a great way to do that. They can name the fund anything that they want to and kind of memorialize someone that way. We've got scholarship funds. We do have one for Ashlyn Lambert, who was the Bradley High School student that was killed just days after graduation. So each year, this will be the second year, her dad will be at Bradley High School presenting that scholarship next Monday to a student. And it's just a neat way to kind of remember Ashlyn each year.
It is, and these are things, and I wanted the public to know about this, or our audience to know about this, because they may be sitting, I know nobody's sitting around with a couple of extra $100,000 that they don't know what to do with, but you just now mentioned that 5,000, you can start it with 5,000, and so people might be able to do that and do scholarships. I'm thrilled to hear that Valley View
Yeah.
is one of your clients. I just think that's wonderful because
It's a great little school.
it is a great little school, and I love Corey and all those people out there, so I think that is wonderful. So, Cathy, if somebody wants to get in touch with you all, how do they do that?
Probably the easiest way is to either call or email me, and I'll be happy to meet with them personally and talk with them about what they are interested in. So that's probably the easiest thing.
Okay, give them your phone number.
599-5880.
Okay, and then to email you would be?
It's just C. Barrett, Barrett, at clevelandbradleyfoundation.org.
Okay, and they're a .org, and we've talked about these .orgs and .coms, folks, so they're a .org. They're not making money, but they're making money for you, and that's what people need to understand. So I just think this is wonderful that you can just do the 5,000, designate it. This would be super for grandparents if they wanted to do something in honor of the grandchild and then give it as a scholarship later on.
It is, and some people want to start getting the next generation involved in philanthropy and kind of pass those values on. So you can have a family fund that you sit down with your grandchildren, and we're happy to sit down with you and help you do that, but really educate them on some great organizations in the community, let them learn about them, and then let them help in deciding where grants go from your fund. So
Now,
it's a neat way to pass that philanthropy value on to your kids or grandkids.
Okay, let me ask this one question, because I know very little about investment except what my investment banker tells me, which that's good because I don't need to know a whole lot. But once they put that money in there, then they're just spending the interest, or they're just, how does this work?
It can be done either way.
Oh,
So we
okay.
work with funds that are endowed, where we just spend the income from that fund each year, and that fund continues on forever. And we work with non-endowed funds so that it's just for a specific period of time, or till the money runs out if that's what the donor wants to do. And it's a great way for donors who want to time their tax deduction, but maybe spend that money over multiple years. They maybe only itemize every other year or something like that, and they really want to be able to time that deduction to go along with when they need it. Maybe they've sold a major asset, or maybe they have appreciated assets and they want to donate those and use the proceeds from that in their fund to make contributions in the community. We can help them with those more complex donations as
Yeah.
well.
And it sounds like y'all can just about handle anything that's got a dollar sign on it that anybody would like for someone else to handle for them.
We can, and I don't know if you saw in the newspaper, but Alan Jones donated a George Bush autographed pickup truck to us, and that was sold and put into funds to benefit 2 different nonprofit organizations. So if it has a value and can be sold, we can do that. And the donation, if it's an appreciated asset, by donating the asset before you sell it, you get to take, you won't have to pay capital gains tax on that appreciation. So it saves you both in the income tax and the capital gains tax.
And see, these are things, folks, that us common folks may not know, but Cathy and her group can handle for you. So give them your phone number one more time.
Okay, it's 599-5880.
And to email you if they have questions that way.
C. Barrett, Barrett, at clevelandbradleyfoundation.org.
Cathy, thank you so much for being on with me today. Doesn't 15 minutes fly?
It flies. It's so much fun.
And my producer Bryce over there was holding up. We're through, and it was so great for you to be on with me today,
Thank
and I really
you.
appreciate
I enjoyed it.
And I hope everybody out there learned a little bit about our community foundation and the way you can reach Cathy to talk to her if you have personal situations that you really want to ask about.
Sure.
So, Cathy, again, thank you so much. Folks, don't go away. I'll be right back with Joe Fivas, who is our city manager. I had him on, I introduced him to you all, and now we're going to see what he's done since he's been here. And I think he's done quite a bit. And so don't go away. Watch our commercials and be sure you support our sponsors because they pay our bills. We'll be right back.